Hello friends, welcome back to the APSIM tutorial. Today we'll have another presentation and tutorial about irrigation practices. Simply because in my presentation I always try to show you the simple things so that you can work on it. So I'm going to tell you about that. Uh, so what I did actually, I just renamed. You know how to rename and the simulation. So whatever you saw last time, that is um, nitrogen, you can it was something like and I rename it. You know how to rename it, simply clicking on the right and go to the rename it, and you can write and type everything. So that 100% nitrogen, that means where I have applied uh, nitrogen, means recommended dose of nitrogen to feed at that time. I took that one as I4. That means irrigation practices we are going to follow. So the irrigation management practices means once pre-sowing irrigation and four post-sowing irrigations of 60 millimeter each. And like that, if you want to see the effect of irrigations on wheat yield, wheat in India is a spring wheat. So we always go for one pre-sowing irrigation or before the time of sowing, and post sowing, depending upon starting from the crown root initiation stage at 20 days or 15 days or 25 days interval, depending temperature condition of the place or weather condition of the place. So what I did actually, I simply renamed that 100% nitrogen or 120 kg nitrogen. What if you look at the previous presentation, and other things, I remain the same, or you may create your own and you do your own depending upon your climate file or climate of the place and number of years you get the weather data. So what I did, so made file it is there, so I am not going to click on this. So I took another made file, doesn't matter, it was same. So I was working something else, so I am showing this one. So I'm going to have 2000 to 2009 clock. In summary, I'm not working on this. The paddock, I didn't change much, so you think that it not been changed. If simple thing you have to change it, that you know one was irrigation event at the time of sowing. You remember that what I did last time, and another irrigation on date. So these are our four at ground root initiation stage and as 20 days interval from that. So one pre-sowing and four. So 1 plus 4. So I named it I4. Similarly, if you and the output, I just simplified it. The variables here: yield, biomass gradient, organic carbon, extractable soil moisture content. So don't bother about these things. Think about what is the effect of irrigation water on biomass and grain yield of wheat. So I reported frequency or harvesting. I'm trying to get this one. This is I4, so 1 plus 4 irrigation. Then I3. If you look at it, you reduce this one and look at the paddock. Then here I reduced 1, so 1 plus 3. So I wanted to show you whether third or fourth irrigation they are behaving similarly, because it depends on the variety and duration of the crop. If longer duration, that response is different, shorter duration response is different. Then what I next did, similarly I made I2. I2 irrigation means two irrigation. So go to the paddock, then the management, and check it here. See, one pre-sowing that was given here, irrigation on event, then on post sowing, so 2. And then I try to give one more, I1 similarly irrigation just as CRI stage, just to tell you and show you that how much, what is the effect, whether the model is sensitive to application irrigation water or not. I'm not going to change anything at this stage, just to show you this, the whether the model is able to, APSIM is able to predict grain yield through irrigation practices. So this is simplest one, and you can go for, so it's a graph. So graph at the end, I didn't put any graph in between. You can see still at the output level only, and you know how to duplicate your simulation. Simple drag. Suppose I4, if you want to make it another irrigation level, then left click in your mouse, press it and drop it at so it will come here. So another node is formed, then you can rename it. Suppose you can rename it I is 0, and you don't want to give any irrigation water, you can change here. So it's only one, you know, here you are not going to give anything, make it nothing. So no irrigation. So like that you can do, but I'm not going to. I'm just wanted to show you, only four irrigation levels. So what is their effect? So what we'll do now? So because I'm not going to any basic details of this, and more important thing is that while doing that, you have to remember one thing: go to the irrigation and switch off the automatic irrigation system. So it is switched off. Usually you'll find when you get those, uh, simulations, default simulations, continuous switch simulations to make your own simulation tree. At that time you'll find it switch on. So that means even if you give less irrigation, so automatic it will give according to the crop need, then that will be give a different results to you, and a model not, you'll find that model is not sensitive. It is not the case. So you have to switch it up. So I have done all the cases, switch it up. So what I'm going to do now, I want to run this one and I want to show you the results and show you the graph so that you can see what are the effects of irrigation levels. That means different, you can say number of irrigations, effects on wheat yield. You can say amount of irrigation water, because what you have done, you have given, all those irrigation at 6 centimeter, 60 millimeter in each case. So when you are going for 1 plus 2, where that means 16 is 60, number of amount of water you have added is 180 millimeter. Like that you can, calculate the water use efficiency. Like that you can go for the methods of irrigation. Here I have given just, you can say flooding with 100% efficiency, but that is not the case. You can reduce the efficiency, but just to compare all those things, I just put it simple simulation. So but you can have your own efficiency level depending upon whether you are going for flooding, we are going for sprinkler, whether you are going for drip irrigation. So now the simulation is ready. You go to the graph, go to XY. Uh, Usually, don't bother about it was run already. So go to the simulation reader and browse here. Though it is showing here, I'm taking the again 1, 2, 3, 4. So and open. So again it is added there, and then you go to plot. So what I did, simply you click on this, then you click on this, you'll come to the pink, then get the biomass again. So already it is there, so I am not going to, you can delete simply pressing it, then go to the yield, another yield, so double, so you just remove it. So you want to see that date versus yield and biomass and effects of irrigation levels. So now click on the XY, the graph section, and you'll find, so 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 4 irrigation levels in grain yield, and you can have, that means I4 and I3 are more or less behaving similar in some years. Some years it's not. There may be some reason. You have to find out what are those reasons behind this, and you'll find those reasons in the summary file of each simulation. And you'll go and see whether there is stress or not. You can go whether there are irrigations, there are rainfalls during that period. If not, temperature, weather file, what are the stress, whether temperature is more or not, something like that. You have to see the stress effect on those simulation. And if you want to take this one out and simply go for biomass I4, I3, and something like that, you can have. Since it has started from 5,000, it is looking like that. But if you start from, you know, so you can see that the irrigation level, it 1, 2, 3, 4 irrigation, and having more water applied to it, you got the good biomass yield, and you can, have all those clicking, all those, you can see biomass and grain yield. So friends, this is what actually the simulation is about: effect of irrigation levels or the amount of irrigation water on wheat yield. This is simplest irrigation I try to show you, because I don't want to make things complicated. Once you know the simplest thing, probably just like I showed you one presentation previously about the effect of application of nitrogen rate on wheat yield. Similarly, this is the effect of irrigation rate, or you can say that irrigation application amount or the number of irrigations, whatever way you say in agronomic practices on wheat yield. So this is all about today's presentation, because all time I try to give you, the simplest form and show you all the things. So thank you for watching. So enjoy and have a nice day ahead. Thank you. Bye bye.